Let's jump into game number 1 because it's here already. So let's go. And welcome everyone to the first game of the series, the Viper versus Kasva. Let me remove GL from the Viper over here. Let me remove Facebook from Kasva. And there we are. We're probably going to be switching colors as well. Viper's playing yellow. That means we're either going to have to use blue for Kasva or blue for the Viper. What do we do? I think we're going to be using blue for the Viper just because it's a little bit easier to tell blue apart from the background over here as opposed to yellow, which can be a little harder to keep track of on the minimap. But anyway, I know it's not Facebook. I'm just messing around. I always make a joke with that. But yeah, what's the prediction over here? Well, don't want to be blunt over here, but I'm expecting a fairly straightforward series for the Viper. Although, given how he performed last weekend, wouldn't be surprised for this to go for game 4 maybe, so to be a result of 3-1 in favor of the Viper, but I think it's most likely to get either 3-0, 3-1 in that order, as opposed to getting 3-2. I think that the series is probably not going to be the best for Kasva, unfortunately, but we'll see. He said he has potential, he believes in himself, maybe he's gonna be able to clutch this one up. The Viper's not going to play quite as good today, or maybe he will play good, but Kasva will still be able to take on him. We'll see. For the civilizations, though, the Viper playing with Teutons over here means he's going to be able to garrison 5 and 10 extra villages inside towers and TCs from where he can shoot 4 and 5 extra arrows. It's a very interesting pick over here for the Viper to go for Teutons. I think it's probably because he's expecting Kasva not to expect him to go for this one in the first game, right? He's probably expecting this one to be a leftover save or whatever. But anyway, we know that Viper can be very strong with Teutons. We saw it in KOTD. Sorry, not KOTD, in Red Bull. Besides that, Viper's also going to have 33% cheaper farms. He gets also free murder holes, free herbal medicines, and 1 and 2 extra melee armor on barracks and stable units in the castle and Imperial Ages, with the team bonus being conversion resistance on the units. If we take a look at Kasva, by the way, the conversion resistance for the Viper is going to work by adding 1 and 2 extra seconds to minimum and maximum conversion time and decreasing the conversion chances by half, so it's much more likely you're going to be getting maximum conversion time if you were even ever curious. For Kasva over here, though, with Saracens, I'm just going to keep track of Viper Scout while I open the bettings. For Saracens, we are going to get first off. Let's see. Wait a second, by the way. Yeah, MBO won the previous one. So yeah, for Saracens on the other hand, we're going to be getting 10 extra HP on camel units. Right? He's going to have also cheaper markets, the trade resources for cheaper as well. And then on top of that, we also have for the team bonus damage from archer units against buildings, 1, 2, and 3 in the field of castle and Imperial Age, if I'm not mistaken. That's about it. The rest of the bonuses are going to be for water. Kasva looked good in the round 32. Hey. Welcome. Hope everything's going alright. Evening. Good day. This should be a pretty easy matchup for the Saracens, but not an easy one for Kasva. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We have seen already in the past, like, especially, I think it comes back to mind yesterday's last series where we saw, like, what was it, like Indians versus Mayans, I think, and then like Indians won quite convincingly just because of the gameplay from the players. So yeah, it's going to be super rough for Kasva over here. It could potentially be super rough, I guess, for either player, depending on how the performance is today for both. Let's go and take a look at the map generation, starting with the Viper. He's got the main goal forward, and then he's got the main stone on the back, secondary goal on the left-hand side. The other secondary goal is going to be actually underneath the mini-map over here, and the secondary stone on the right-hand side. If we take a look at map generation, we have, or the potential walla, we have 4 woodlands over here around his base that he can use to connect the dots and just completely wall himself up, kind of like build a small arena over here. However, yeah, he can also go for something a little bit safer. Maybe walls from, let's see, here to here, right? And maybe something like either from here towards the TC if he wants to be super safe and super quick, or from here towards the TC. In any case, he should be able to secure the stone, should be able to secure the berries as well. and just the goal is going to be an issue. He's going to have to go for local walls around it. If we take a look at the map generation from Kasva, on the other hand, what do we get? We have the main goal forward for the red player this time around, and he's got both secondary goals on the right-hand side. As for the stone, we have the main one on the back, we have the secondary stone on the left-hand side, and then he's already gonna start going for this as well. Yeah, you can see he's already got a wall layout over here. I would love for him to try and connect the wall over here to the edge of the map so that he can secure the woods over here, both these woods, plus the stone, plus the gold over here as well, and just the berries will be exposed. But the secondary gold over here is going to be fantastic, and it's going to be a gold save that Viper's not going to be able to secure easily himself, because he's got the main forward and he does not have a secondary one easily defendable on the back, unless he goes for walls around here maybe. But yeah, that's about it. We'll put a second into the village already, so we are skipping right into the action. 20 population for both, and we see the stable coming out for Kasva. It's going to be full scouts, while the Viper on the other hand is going for gold miners, so it's going to be archers. Yeah. What you draw on my screen? Well, it's just the way we go, the way we're all about here. I really think the Talon was a great purchase, Nova. Drawing adds quite a bit in my opinion. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Imagine if I actually had gotten this one on time. Like, I bought it and had to wait, what was it, like 9 months, 8 months to get it? Jeez. Anyway, it's gonna be a pretty interesting situation because the mobility from Kasva will allow him to potentially punish more of Viper's map, but the problem is Viper's already started going for walls. Like, he's already got the gold miners walled up over there, and let's take a look at the scouting information. He knows about the stable over here, so he should also be going for walls around here. For the time being, he's just gonna be using the spearmen to defend both the foragers and the lumberjacks. Meanwhile, Kasva on the other hand is just gonna be relying. Yeah, he's just gonna be relying on the walls to protect himself, and because the Viper's got for the most part only archers, or he's going to have for the most part only archers to work with, he won't really be able to do too much damage. At most, he'll be able to push the villagers from berries away, but the wool lines, for instance, are not going to be exposed for Kasva because he's got already like multiple wool lines protected over here. Pretty good position overall for the red player. I think he should be able to transit, you know, to go through the village fairly safely. Did someone have to bring the towel to Argentina by foot? Apparently. Yeah. Well, if you like it, guys, you know what you can do. You can talk to other people about it, and that helps quite a bit. I'm gonna be making a video sometime soon about the program that I use and all the features that it has. I'm gonna be uploading it to my YouTube channel. For those of you who would like to use it, because it's not only good for me for casting over here, but it's also a pretty good annotation software, especially like for remote working and stuff. And it's free as well, so that's pretty good. But yeah, back to the game. Kasva coming forward, cannot do anything. Already some free hits over here from the Viper, so good job over there with the Spearman. And he's trying to break through on the right hand side, but Kasva should be completely fine. Yeah, the thing is, with the gold miners over here, collecting from the gold we were expecting him to go for, he should be able to reinforce the walls over here, so it's unlikely Viper will be able to break through anywhere, right? On the left-hand side, this could potentially be exposed, but for the time being, Kasva's got some hunters over here, so he does have villagers at hand to reinforce basically his entire wall out. And while the Viper, on the other hand, has got to keep the Spearman, you know, active at all times to prevent taking any losses, because 3 scouts, even if 1 is very low, will still be enough for Kasva to take villagers down and the Viper's not paying attention at all times. There you are. Overall, good job from Kasva defending himself. He got pushed away from here, but he's gonna be fine. He's been collected from the deer over here on the back, so it's pretty alright for him. Getting pushed from the berries is not going to be the end of the world. Really good snipes over here from Kasva as well. Getting the scout over here from the Viper, getting an archer. Now he's gonna get another archer. Take a look at that unit control. Good job! Spearman is trying to bait those skirmishers back, but now Kasva's sending those forward as well. He's not going to take the bait. Now the thing is, Viper is going up to the castle edge significantly faster. How exactly he's been able to do that? Well, he's not gone for quite as many military units compared to Kasva. That is one thing, right? And then the other thing is, I'm actually not really sure. Did he use the market? He used the market quite a bit, yeah, but he did not sell the stone. Yeah, I think it's going to be just a Teuton saving resources on the farms over here. He's not going for horse scholars, so that's resources that he's saving. He's not going for quite as many military units, so that's resources he's saving. You know, the farms are cheaper, so he does end up going up significantly faster, but then his economy is going to be impacted later by getting horse scholars so much later. It's alright, with Teutons you can delay it compared to other civilizations for sure. Because like it's already going to be so much cheaper for them. And he's taking advantage of it. Yeah. Put his own skull when the farm goes like 7 wood. Yeah, exactly. It's overall good. Let's see if Kasva can push the villagers away from wood over here though. I don't think Viper's got any other wood line though. Yeah, guys, he's not secured a single wood line outside this one. So with the archers, the skirmishers over here, if he can push the villagers away, that's going to be so good for him. However, with the Viper being already in the castle age, that means we're going to start seeing some knights, and that's going to be enough to push Kasva away. Now the question is though, what will Kasva do while he stays in the field age? He won't be able to go up to the castle age anytime soon, so it seems like he's going to be thinking of going heavily into pikemen or spearmen right away. Yeah, he's got spearmen coming up from both barracks already. That's going to be about it, but he's already taking some damage over here. He's probably going to end up losing a few units. Yeah. He's pushing the Viper away from gold once again, but the Viper should be fine. A few extra knights, and then he should be able to hold on against this just fine. It's only until Kasva gets more spearmen forward that the Viper's gonna have to worry about. There we go. Towers, yeah, it's just going to try and deny this goal for good. The Viper, once again, his secondary goals are going to be on the left and right hand sides. So he can still collect from this, but you know, if he can get this tower up and he can completely protect this one as well with some palisade walls, he could potentially come forward and try to get a tower up over here. You can see that he's bringing all his military over to the right hand side, so he's got protection for the villagers. And then if he drops the tower over here, that's going to be basically no wood for the Viper. That's going to be no gold for the Viper anymore. So we'll see. He's trying to go around. Extra TC for the Viper though. Good job. That's going to prevent a potential tower. Well played. Resources starting to look a little bit better for Kasva, but he won't still be able to go up to the castle just yet. You gotta keep in mind though that because of all the idle TC time Kasva has gotten so far, Viper has the same villager count while being 1 age higher. Because it's Teutons as well, and Teutons are Teutons, that's going to be extremely bad for Kasva. Now he's trying to go for extra towers. Even if the Viper's TC is going to prevent the tower from coming up like directly behind the wall line, a tower potentially around this area, right, like probably 7 tiles away from the TC would still be enough for him to deny the wood, I think, probably around here. So it's still good. Kasva can still deny wood from the Viper, it's just that it's not going to be possible for him to deny full gold. If the Viper gets pushed away from wood over here though, which he is, now he's going to bail, he's just going to move over to the left hand side probably. He's going over to stone, interesting. It's interestingly enough, but yeah. It's going to stay there for the time being. Doesn't seem like Kasva's pressure over here is going to be doing too much against the Viper just yet, too. Agreed. Until he gets another tower up over here where I was suggesting earlier, then Viper's just going to keep on collecting wood from this side of the tree anyway. The wood line anyway. Net's coming forward from the Viper. Good reaction from Kasva. Well played. Yeah, and it's unlikely Viper will be able to break through anyway. So it's fine. Still going down. Does the Viper have another one? Nope. That's the only stable he's got left. Yeah, 2 towers over here for Kasva. Well, this is starting to be a little bit more impactful around Viper's base. It's already had to deplete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 farms. Which is pretty good for Kasva. Man, you know what? This is a beautiful tower position, but will he be able to get this one up though? That is the question. He's going for it. Oh man, but I don't think that tower is still going to have enough range to push the Viper away from this goal, though. I certainly would have preferred for him to go for the tower a few extra tiles down south, probably around here maybe. Yeah, I think probably around here would have been ideal. Viper still does not have enough resources to react. He's got the one counter tower coming up over here. Okay, I guess he does have the resources. Yeah, it feels like Viper's feeling quite confident over here, interestingly enough. Good push though from Kasva. Might be able to get a villager down over here too. So far, KOTD4 to 4. But wait a moment, what? How did the Viper come in here? It seems like Kasva was not paying attention, and now the Viper is coming in. And the wall lane's completely exposed, guys. Kasva realizes about it, but the Viper might be able to get a villager down over here. It's going to be so far 5 to 4 KOTD in favor of Kasva, but now, yeah. He got pushed away from here. And back home, he is being completely pushed away by the Viper over here as well. So might end up losing a few extra villages as well. This is really, really good. Castle is finally coming in for Kasva, but he's still very much open over here, which means the Viper, with already, you know, access to Castle units, could potentially send some reinforcements forward for sure. Very good defense over here for the Viper as well. Was able to take the tower down right away. Good job. There's not much left for Kasva forward, just the one barracks and a few remaining towers, which are probably going to go down very soon, and there we go. Finally, the house is coming out to plug the hole in the wall. Viper is over 20 villages ahead right now. Indeed, he's got 3 TCs already. He's been able to expand over to additional wall lines. He's been able to secure this gold still, and then he's moving over to the left-hand side with a 4 TC where he's going to be securing his other secondary gold. So it's only the main one that he cannot take for the time being, but I don't think it's going to affect him too bad. Very soon he should be able to take this tower down and potentially collect from here, no problem. You can see that he's collecting some stone as well, so if he increases stone production, should be able to go for a castle maybe around here, and then he can secure that gold as well. Meanwhile, the knights are finally going down for the Viper, as he's not sent any reinforcements. He's just gonna be going for full boom over here. Kasva, on the other hand, gets to the castle age finally. But what is he going to do? He's got almost no military. He's got 10 military units, which are not going to do much of anything against the Viper on 4 TCs, right? He's going for scale bar the number right now. He doesn't really have much production, and because his economy is so much smaller compared to the Viper, production is not going to be quite as good for Kasva anyway. So Viper's done a really good job over here, playing it safe, keeping his cool, especially under so much pressure from Kasva, and he's managed to get away with it. So really good job. Extra stable coming up over here for Kasva. We'll see some camels coming out. Remember, 10 extra HP for Saracens. And cavalry archers coming out as well, which is good, you know. You get all the upgrades for Saracens actually. So yeah, cavalry archers can be pretty good. It's just going to take some time to mass up, of course. I probably would personally prefer crossbows, just because it's going to be a little bit easier to mass, and it's going to have bonus damage against buildings, so you can keep on putting the pressure. I feel like that's going to be significantly more important than going for the stronger unit for the longer term. If you can put pressure right now as soon as possible, then that's going to have the most impact on the Viper. The longer it takes for him to make some value out of his, to get some value out of his units, the better it's going to be for the Viper. Nice forward castle though. Let's see. Yeah, it's not the final set of the day. No, there's Hera later. It's been a long one, man. Despite not having full series. I mean, we're in game number 1 and we are over 5 hours into the stream. So yeah. Good job. Yeah, good job from Kasva in the end. You know, with camels you cannot really take care of knights, so crossbows would not only be cheaper and easier to mass up, but then I feel it feels like kind of redundant right now, in my opinion, to have the cavalry archers. I guess it's a different kind of pressure. With cavalry archers you have more mobility, so you can cover more terrain, but the thing is he's keeping them like very static. They are over here, he's not roamed around, he's not trying to get villagers from the Viper. With archers, on the other hand, he might have been able to put pressure even against DCs and whatnot. Viper, on the other hand, is going forward on the right-hand side. We'll see if he can get anything done over there, but let's keep track of Kasva's push over here, which seems significantly stronger now. Notice though, the Viper's going up to the Imperial Age already. We'll see Ballistics coming in, Botkin Arrow, he's gonna start getting all the upgrades he needs to have a strong Imperial Age army. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is over here for the Viper though, because with Teutons, you know, archery is not really going to be very good for him in the late game, so it's gotta be... Well, he's going for more archers though. Is he just gonna try to take this one with crossbows? I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem correct from the Viper. Honestly. Good counter Kasva for the Viper over there. Yeah, I'm still very curious as to what he's going to go in the Imperial Age. He cannot stick to crossbows, of course. It's not going to be good. Castle's going up to the Imperial Age himself, and then the Imperial Age is going to have much better ranged units compared to Viper. So what is the situation over here? Teutons are going to be very much a melee civilization. And, you know, Castle's got camels against knights, or potentially cavalier or paladin. And then he's got much better archery. He's got arbalesters and fully upgraded cavalry archers as well, which is going to be super good against Viper going for infantry, for instance, or going for his own, you know, range units. So on paper, I'm liking Saracens better. It's just a problem that you are talking about it over here. The villager count's so much higher for the Viper. He's going to get to the Imperial significantly sooner compared to Kasva as well. And what does Kasva have to get the push going with once he gets to the Imperial Age? Almost no economy, and he just calls it GG. That was a fairly anticlimactic GG, to be honest. And that game kind of felt fast, even though it was 35 minutes long. Or I guess in real world times, probably more like 20 minutes long. Viper's going to end up opening the series with a win over here versus Kasva. And that was a very strong start for the Viper, especially given the matchup for the civilizations. It's yeah, it's going to be fantastic for the Viper. Let's go and take a look at the achievements then before jumping back out. And you can see, as soon as the Viper got up to the Castle Age, despite all the pressure from Kasva, let's actually select the split view over here. You can see that the villager count for the Viper slowly but steadily got higher and higher over here against Kasva, to the point he wasn't over twice the villager count. So yeah, I think in this position Kasva should have tried to go for more aggression. It's, man, the problem is that it took him so long to get to the Castle Age. I guess he was as aggressive as he could have been given that he was in the Field Age, right? But yeah, I'm not really sure. In the position that Kasva was in when the Viper got to the Castle Age, I don't think Kasva could have done much more than he did, actually. I think the approach of going full field was the mistake over here. I think if he tried to go for a more standard Castle Age time, he would have been able to put in a lot more pressure with Siege, you know, monks, whatever. Monks probably not so much against Teutons, but with Siege, Pikes could have been super strong. Crossbows especially with bonus damage against buildings would have been so much stronger. And I think that was the issue over here, the full field approach from Kasva. Well, I don't think we are going to see too much of that from the red player in the next few games. But yeah, Viper's going to end up collecting 8,000 extra resources. Yeah, of course. Close to 50% stronger economy. Actually, it's going to be 40% stronger economy for the Viper compared to Kasva this game. And of course, for villager count, significantly higher for the Viper as well. 121 max to 55 max, over twice the villager count for the Viper. Good job. Let's go back. And yeah, there we are. Let's cross the civilization south to see what we have left. Really, really strong start for the Viper over here. If I were in Kasva's position, I probably wouldn't be feeling too good about this matchup. Or about losing this matchup, rather. But he's got Franks still, he's got Sicilians still, Khmer, Indians, Mongols. Viper's got Huns, Burgundians, Britons, Mayans, and Byzantines. Interesting that Viper has decided to go for actual bans over here. I think he might have gotten nagged by the admin or something about going for random bans, but I'm not really sure. The thing is, he's decided to go for actual bans this time around. He's banned Aztecs, Incas, and Lithuanians. Incas is a very interesting ban. I guess he's expecting Kasva to be more of an unorthodox kind of player, so he wants to remove Incas potentially. And Lithuanians is an interesting band, it's more standard. Meanwhile, Kasva getting Chinese, Tatars, and Vietnamese seems to be a lot more standard. Vietnamese, I'm not really too sure about though. But yeah, he's gone for it. What could we see for game number 2 then? I think I'm liking Franks for Kasva. Yeah, I think I'm liking Franks for Kasva, but I think I'm liking Khmer as well. I think like Khmer is going to be a good second game civilization for Kasva, actually even more than Franks. I like it even better. Well, the Viper on the other hand has got Britons, for instance, which can be super strong. He's got Huns as well, which can be super useful, and then he can save like Mayans for later, Burgundians for later, Byzantines for later, which are going to be stronger in my opinion. Then Vietnamese and give Viper Vikings. But sketchy. Well, to have Vikings. Oh, Mayans. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Vietnamese doesn't seem like a very strong band, to be honest. Let me see if game number 2 is over here already. Hopefully. I think it's here, so we should be able to jump into it right away. Guys, we're going to pay the bettings off. And we're going to open it for game number 2. 1 second. It's loading right now. And we have for game number 1, Viper coming out on top. So let's open predictions for game number 2. Viper versus Kasva, 2 minutes. And let's go. What's the matchup over here then? Well, we're gonna have Britons versus Franks. Kind of what I was expecting. There are 2 civilizations from each player that I was kind of expecting to see in game number 2. It's the case for Viper civilization for sure. It's not so much for Kasva. It's actually also the case for Kasva. I was in between Franks and Khmer, but for this one, it's a very interesting one. Starting with the Viper, Britons will get 25% faster working Shepherds. It gets on top of that a 50% wood discount on TC starting in the Castle Age, as well as 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units except for skirmishers in the castle and imperial ages respectively. For the team bonus on the other hand, we also get for the Viper 20% faster working archer ranges, which means it's going to be able to mass units up super fast. However, if we take a look at Kasva civilization on the other hand, we get for Franks 20% extra HP on stable units starting in the fuel age, as well as 25% cheaper castles. We get 15% faster working foragers, and then also free farm upgrades, with the team bonus being 2 extra line of sight on nightline units. Let's go and take a look at the map generation real quick, starting with the Viper over here. We have the main goal forward, as well as the main stone on the back. Both secondary goals are to the right hand side, and then the secondary stone is on the left hand side. Plus, the berries are kind of forward for him, so this is not going to be the easiest map to wall out for the Viper. But if he did manage to go for walls from here to here, for instance, then either from here towards the TC, right, and here to here, he ends up securing the wool line, which is fantastic. Yeah, and then he does not have any golds though, that's the problem. It's a little bit tricky for the Viper. If he could potentially afford to go for walls towards the edge of the map over here, that would be so much better. He would be able to secure the gold over here, he would be able to secure the stone as well. Yeah, but that's going to be significantly priced here, of course. We'll see what he goes for. At the very beginning, because of how open the map is, I'm expecting for him to go for either something like this. There we go, something like this. Right? Or to go for just local walls around the resources and then try to eventually work towards larger walls like what we were suggesting earlier, something like this instead. If we go and take a look at the map generation though from Kasva on the other hand, for the red player we have the main goal on the back, and then he's got the secondary goals on the left hand side, 1 to the north, 1 to the south. The main stone is forward for Kasva, meanwhile the secondary stone is on the left hand side. And for this, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for Kasva to wall out, because if he goes for walls from here to here, here to the TC, then from here to here, here to here, it's not going to be anywhere as expensive or as time consuming as Viper's potential larger walls would be, but he will be able to secure a lot more as well. He will be able to secure 1, 2 golds over here, the wool line over here. There is a wool line over here as well that he could potentially secure, and that'd be so nice. But it seems like he's going to go for walls like this instead. It's just kind of awkward, but then he can always go for the extra walls later. Alright. Kasva maps feels a little bit better. I agree, yeah, but he's not really taking advantage of it just yet. Well, even if he goes for these walls and he connects this wall line to the edge of the map and then towards the TC, I think it's going to be already fine, right? In any case, I guess if he wanted to go for the smaller walls, I would certainly prefer for him to go for something like this from here to the edge of the map so that he can at the very least secure still this wall line and then he can already secure the gold too. So this is not bad, but it's not ideal anyway. Let's see, fuel H coming up for both players already. 19 villages for the Viper, 19 villages for Kasva. This is not necessarily going to be scouts, as we have seen already in the tournament many times. Barracks is coming in for the Viper. It's going to be archers for him, of course, with Britons. Why would he go for scouts? Well, Kasva, on the other hand, is most likely not going to go for scouts. So, scouts and archers. It's going to be same. Again. Did we have any bettings, by the way? I'm not really sure if anybody actually voted for... Yeah, nobody voted for anything. So what do we do over here? We had to close it because nobody voted for anything. Not too much interest for game number 2, by the looks of it. Barracks coming in for Kasva. Just in time, he's having the second village over here. Should be able to get it up before he gets to the fuel H, and then he can go for the stable right away. Viper, on the other hand, let's see. It's gonna be going for the archer range very soon. Not either militias or anything. And you know, the Viper actually played like this last time around as well. Last weekend, just straight archers. He's not been going for militias to speak of with any of the archer civilization he's gone for. Instead, he lets the other players go for those when it's archer civilization matchups. Otherwise, he just relies on, you know, the spearmen, archers to hold on against scouts as well. Can go for a few skirmishers later on as well to try and, you know, protect his archers against potential skirmishers. Archers and spearmen against potential skirmishers. Alright. For Scholar coming in for the Viper. This is really interesting. He's going for archers, then he's gonna be going for Horse Scholar. So instead of going for militias, he's going to spend the resources and upgrades, okay? Just before he starts making a switch to farms. Good job. Good job, actually. Just coming out. Is he gonna try and play defensive over here? There's not really a whole lot for the Viper to gain by going aggressive against Kasva. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be feeling confident as the higher seeded player over here. I'm pretty sure he's just going to let Kasva work for it. And then he's just gonna be playing defensive. It seems to me anyway. Archer range coming in for Kasva, so we're gonna see skirmishers. Yeah, Viper's just going to play defensive once again. It's worked so far in the past. There is no reason to fix what ain't broke. And Viper's playing greedy. But he's going to get away with it. I think the reason for that is because he forces Kasva to go forward and get the push going, and Kasva's been playing super standard. If Kasva was going forward much earlier with like a trash or something, and he was trying to make this game a little bit messier, I feel like that's when he probably stands a little bit better chances. But, you know, to be completely honest, I am not quite sure if that would actually work in favor of Kasva or not, because he tried to do the last game around, and it was actually not that good for him. So if playing standard is not going to be good enough, if playing out of the box is not going to be good enough, what do you do? It just seems like this is such an, you know, unsurmountable position for Kasva just because of Viper being so confident, being so good over here. He's getting away with this very, very greedy playstyle. And take a look at that. Take a look at the walls that Viper's going to go for. He's going to wall himself over to the left-hand side, securing this wall line already, which is amazing. And then it seems to me that he's also planning to try and connect to the right-hand side of the map as well, to the right edge. Which is gonna be quite something for sure. Still on the way, and Viper will start adding some scouts against the skirmish as well. Let's see. He's not paying attention, man. Oh, the quick walls do not connect, and now Kasva might be able to get a villager down, and that's the first villager going down from the Viper. As Kasva's got a lot less time of TC time for the Viper compared to the Viper as well. He might actually be able. Yeah, this is a very, very good engagement for Kasva overall, but very good reaction over here from the Viper. He might be able to get ahead by even 2 villages at a time. So you can see over here, actually, Kasva on 31 compared to 28 villages because the Viper is going for wheelbarrow as well. Really, really interesting position. Legends coming in for Kasva. We see the skirmishers coming in as well as some archers. And the Viper's got a good amount of archers over here, like a really great amount of archers actually. Remember the 20% faster working archer ranges too, and then the head start to the FLH. But then he's got some spearmen as well, so he should be able to defend himself against scouts just fine. It's only skirmishers that he's gonna be struggling with. And for that he added the stable. So we'll probably see something else coming up. Hey designer! Hi. Welcome back to the stream. Hope everything's going alright. Oh man, it gives me anxiety. A little bit. Don't worry. Just having somebody called designer in the channel because, you know, I do the designs myself for the stream and I'm like, oh man, what is he going to think about it? He's going to notice all the mistakes that I try to to hide from everybody else that I didn't talk about publicly. Anyway. Legends here for the Viper already. Notice his economy being significantly stronger right now compared to Kasva's too. After all, we have a lot of scouts over here, skirmishers as well for Kasva. The Viper's been going for only archers. And he's waited to start adding farmers himself until he got horse scholar as well. So his economy is probably as efficient as it gets for the Viper. Really, really good job. And Kasva kind of let him get away with it, I guess. Yeah, now this is looking so good for the Viper. I mean, take a look at that. He's pushing all the archers away. He's even taking skirmishers down with these archers. You got trouble. What trouble do you have? He's already dead. Kind of looks like it. Viper should be able to click out to the castle H in the next 30 seconds or so. He's even idling the TC to go up as fast as possible. And Kasva's getting a lot of idle TC time himself. I'm not really sure what that was about. I think probably just he didn't realize about it, but yeah. Good job, the villager's going down over here for the Viper. That's going to be the second villager Kasva was able to pick so far, but still not going to prevent the Viper from getting to the castle age significantly faster. But the Dark Souls series and decided to play it with me like, oh boy, good luck, man. I hope your hair doesn't go gray after the first week. Haven't played it myself, but I heard it's super difficult. Nice hill advantage over here for the Viper as well. Yeah, he's going for the archers. He's going for the skirmishers right now. So far, he's lost about 3 archers over here, but he's able to get as many, if not more, archers from Kasva himself as well. Really good job. Really good job. Good trade for Kasva. This is good for Kasva in the sense that the Viper does not have quite as many units to upgrade to crossbows. But that was not very inefficient for the Viper. He was able to get as many archers and even a few skirmishers from Kasva. But this is going to keep the Viper from completely steamrolling the red player right away, in any case. So yeah. With quadruple archer ranges over here, the Viper is just going to go for full archer production. What is this, man? 4 archer ranges for the Viper? This is an incredible build, and he's gotten away with it, while Kasva, on the other hand, has just been struggling this game and this series. Against the Viper, he won't be able to go up to the castle age for the next, 30 seconds or so. Meanwhile, the Viper's already going to be there. He's going to have the crossman upgrade, Bodkin arrow upgrades coming in right away, and this is just amazing performance from the blue player. It's making this really look like a 2K versus a 1500 player because it's just so good. Viper builds all the ranges that Winchester was missing earlier. Yeah, right. Viper's just striking the balance that we needed in the stream. Just going to compensate to have the exact average of archer ranges in the match. It's true. Guess it's going up to the Castle Age while the Viper's coming in with crosses already. He's got Botkin Arrow coming in. How does he want to afford for faster working ranges? He can't, but it's the infrastructure already, and he's gonna be able to slowly but surely work towards maximizing production potential. I think it might be a little bit too much. I would certainly have liked for him to have like 3 archer ranges only, and then use the resources from the other archer range to go for a university, for instance, to try and get ballistics, because he's got the university actually. Okay. Maybe to try and queue a few extra crossbows and then eventually go for the 4th archer range, but well, the Viper's a Viper. He probably knows what he's doing. I'm guessing the Viper probably has an idea what he's doing. He cannot really produce from 4 right now. No. He's waiting for ballistics, by the way. Yeah, he's going for it right now. Good job. Meanwhile, we have some skirmishers over here. Archers from Kasva. That Viper realized about as well. Not really sure how. Yeah, but knows about these. Very, very good micro over here for the Viper. Take a look at that. He's systematically shutting Kasva down. On the right-hand side, he pushes him away from wood. Now Kasva's gonna have to move over to the right-hand side. And that's going to be very inefficient economy as these villagers move over to the next wood line. You can see that worker efficiency is going to decrease steadily, and there is basically no wood income for Kasva. He's got 4. What is he going to do with 4? Nothing. He's going for stables instead. Notice how Kasva is trying to match the Viper for unit spam, but he's going for triple stable net production. Now the thing is, how does he afford that? Wait, how many does he have over here? 8 gold miners. He can't. And now he does not have access to gold anymore. I think, guys, this might be a very quick game number 2, because what does Kasva do over here? He calls the GG. That's what he does. Good job for the Viper. Wow, man. Complete domination for sure. Viper up 2, Kasva down 0. Let's go and take a look at the achievements then. We're gonna get a close to 7-to-4 kill ratio for the Viper. Army high of 29-to-14. And for economy, on the other hand, we have a lot of extra resources collected for the Viper, which comes down to worker efficiency, because Kasva, you know, kind of got affected by it. The Viper got, for instance, the upgrades earlier as well. That allowed him to get a stronger economy as well. Good job. And obviously, at the end of the game, Kasva's economy was an absolute disaster after the Viper was able to breach in. Overall, very straightforward match for the Viper over here. Maximum villager count higher for Kasva, but he was, you know, on the back foot regardless. So good job from the Viper over here. Let's go back. And let's try to cross the civilizations out over here. So we saw Britons. And we saw for Kasva. What did we get over here? We had Franks, right? Yeah. That means for game number 3, we have Sicilians left, Khmer, Indians, and Mongol left for Kasva. I would probably like for him to go for Sicilians, honestly. And the Viper's got Mayans. He's got Byzantines, Burgundians, and Huns. So whatever the Viper goes for, I feel like Byzantines could potentially be a good matchup. But whatever the Viper goes for, I think he's going to have much better matchups left for game number 4 and 5 potentially. He's got Mayans still. He's got Burgundians still, Byzantines, and Huns, which are amazing civilizations. I think Huns are probably lagging a little bit behind compared to some of the other ones over here. So if he uses Huns right now, he's going to have the 3 best civilizations left for game number 4 and 5 potentially. Well, Kasva, on the other hand, well, I'm really sure what he does. We have Byzantines potentially against Khmer, potentially against Indians or Mongols, right? Very good for the Viper. We have Mayans potentially against Indians. Yeah. I'm not really sure what options we are going to have left for Kasva for the next few games if he does manage to get game number 3 in the first place. But honestly, I don't know, man. The Viper's looking so strong that I wouldn't be surprised for this to be a clean sweep. Let's see if I can find the game already. Game number 3, hopefully. Yeah, it's here. Sorry about that. 30 seconds of delay still for game number 3. And interestingly enough, the Viper is not sparing civilizations over here whatsoever. He's going to go for Mayans for game number 3. Well, Kasva on the other hand is going for Mongols. Okay, that's gonna be a pretty interesting one. Honestly, like in my hands, like a lot more. As long as he manages to survive the early push from Mongols, you know, the early aggression and the fuelage, I think he's gonna be fine. But we're gonna be talking more about it later. Viper wants to finish quickly so he can go play AOE4. Probably. Hey, he did say last weekend that he was playing too much AOE4 and that he tried to get in shape for KOTD, but apparently it did not suffice. And that he was going to train a lot harder. And well, he's certainly looking super strong over here in any case. Guys, welcome everyone then to game number 3 in the series. Let's actually cross the colors over here. There we go. We have blue for the Viper once again. And what does that mean for civilizations? The Viper and blue down the south, he's got Mayans. That means 1 extra villager. But he starts with 50 less food. On top of that, we get 15% longer lasting resources, but 3% slower working farmers. Besides that, we're also going to have for the Viper and Mayans, let's see, 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archers, for instance, which is just going to make the units cheaper as the game goes on for the Viper. And for the team bonus, we also get, you know, for the Viper, cheaper walls. Kasva, on the other hand, playing with Mongols over here, is going to get 40% faster working hunters, as well as 30% extra HP. And oh, Kasva's going for the lane. We're gonna keep track of this. But yeah, on top of that, we also get very loud bike. Sorry about that. We also get 30% extra HP on light cavalry, has certain step lance line units for Mongols, 25% faster attacking cavalry archer units. And then for the team bonus, we're gonna have, okay, there we go, Viper's coming here. I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything, unfortunately. Kasva should be able to, as long as he pays attention to the scout, get away with the laming. Yep. And Viper's just going to delay this one a fair bit. Yeah, Viper's doing a really good job delaying this. And Kasva's trying to go around. Oh, he almost takes a hit over there. But he's just trying to, yeah, get away from the Viper's ego, because the Viper's been a huge nuisance. Wow. Okay, 1 extra hit over there. Yeah, it's like been like super delayed because of Viper's fantastic unit control over here anyway. Kasva should be able to get away with this regardless. I guess Viper could try to go for a counter lane. Yeah, we'll see about that. Good job. He got it. Finally, for the team bonus, we're gonna get also 2 extra line of sight on scout line units for Mongols. Viper will try to lame the villager over here, and we have the hill over here. Viper, wow, he might be able to get the bill down. Jesus. Yeah, Viper's doing a really good job. He's got the hill right now, and well, it seems like Kasva's gonna have to give up on that boar, and he's going to go and take this elephant instead. Well, anyway, we're probably going to have enough time to take a look at the map generation in just 1 second. That was pretty good from Kasva, by the way. Really good job. There we go. He needs to delete that. I think he probably did. And now the elephant. Oh, no way. Oh, the eagle, though, is taking a lot of damage over there. And the Viper won't be able to lane the villager. So that's pretty good. And Kasva ends up getting the elephant over here. Is going to end up getting this elephant over here as well. Good job. Yeah. He gets away with all 3 elephants. This is super good. However, Viper was able to delay the first elephant so much so that I think it was alright for him as well. He's not going to be falling behind too much. I'm not really sure if he's going to go back and try to push the huntings though, the huntables though, or not. He should be doing it, like it's very close to the berries, for instance. But yeah, let's go and take a look at the map generation right now for both players. Starting with the Viper, he's got the Mingo on the left hand side. There we go. The answer is no, Gus. No. We have the second gold on the right hand side, the other secondary gold on the left hand side over here, and then we have the main stone down south and the secondary stone up northwest. It's going to be fairly tricky for the Viper to get a full wall out over here, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just went for local walls around the resources. He's up against Mongols, so he's probably just going to be waiting for... He's just probably going to be expecting scouts, probably, and maybe some skirmishers into the mix, but you know, he's playing Mayans, so I think he's going to be able to hold on against skirmishers just fine. If we go and take a look at the map generation, yeah, I'm not super happy about not being able to provide like a viable wall out over here for the Viper, so I'm just going to suggest this for the future eventually, you know. but it's super open. On the right-hand side, he won't be able to secure this, for instance. And yeah, he would only be able to secure 1 gold and 1 stone over here, which is not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's kind of tricky. I guess he could potentially also go for something like this too. Anyway, let's check. Kasva's map generation on the other hand. It's got the mingle on the back. This is very interesting. It's got bold wood lines forward, so it seems like we're finally getting some more open generations over here. It's got the secondary goal down south and the other secondary goal on the right hand side, with the main stone on the right hand side and the secondary stone on the left hand side over here towards the south. It's going for the barracks already, so it's quite clear it's going to be connecting both these wood lines. That's, you know, that's not even up for debate. And then he could potentially go for the walls over here. The thing is, this wall on the right hand side, because it's so open, he's probably gonna have to go for walls towards the TC or something. It's going to be kind of awkward at first, but if he eventually can go for walls from here to the edge of the map, he secures so much, man. He's very close to the corner of the map, so he can get away with it. Yeah, you know, he would be able to secure 1, 2 golds over here, the stone over there for sure. Yeah, it's just going to be super tricky to get up at first. Especially because he does not have any villages on the right hand side. If he went for the walls like this, right, he wouldn't really be able to secure this area, wouldn't be able to protect any of this, so it could potentially get breached. You know, the Viper playing with Mayans has always the option of going for Eagle Warriors, which can be fantastic for breaching lone walls like that. PLH is already here. Viper's on 24 population rather. Kasva's on 23 population. Is gone up to the fuel H faster. He's got scouts coming out already. We can see the archer range even is coming out, so it's going to be scouts and skirmishers for sure. Viper loses the scout over there, but it's fine. Meanwhile, the Viper is going for his own archers as well. He's got a spearman and eagles coming out. Yeah. I feel like this is some sort of in joke to which I'm not part of. The only joke over here is the only inside joke over here is just Gus asking random questions at the most unlikely times. That's about it, but there is nothing about Switch. No. My legit belief is that it's not worth to buy the Switch. I'm sorry. I just think it's too underpowered, and I think with a modern smartphone you're going to have the same power. And probably enough entertainment as well, but I guess on a phone, you're not going to get console access or access to console title unless you use like Game Pass, you know, or Xbox Cloud, or I'm not really sure what the name is for it, or like Nvidia Shield. And the GeForce Now, sorry, I don't remember the names, but unless you're using one of those cloud services, in which case your phone is probably going to be enough. Unless you want to play Zelda, yeah, maybe, or Mario Kart or whatever, right? Anyway. Sorry for derailing. Let's take a look at the engagement over here. Good job. Yeah, the spearman going down over there. Viper cannot do much of anything over here, and Kasva's actually getting a very decent trade. Gotta be careful though, because yeah, that scout was very low HP. That is not the best unit control, so even though he managed to clean the units up over there, he could have saved the scout still. And even if it's only one hit, if you go forward, you have one extra scout and you engage with the high HP ones, you can still deal extra damage with low HP ones. Viper's getting the second archer range up over here. It's going to be full archers for him. Eagle scouts over here coming out, and whether or not he's going to be going for full Eagle Warriors or full crossbows is going to depend on what Kasva goes for next. And Viper's going to be keeping an eye open for Kasva's next move for sure. For the time being, economy is very similar for both players. We have one extra villager though for the Viper, which is just because of the Mayan bonus. And very low idle TC times for both players as well. Because it's trying to get some pressure going over here. The Viper's not gotten the walls up just yet, so he might be exposed. Gold miners over here, particularly speaking, could be going down to the scouts. Let's see if he can take one. He cannot do it, man. Viper's got he's got the spearmen already. He's got the archers over here. On the right hand side, he's gonna try to go for it again, but I don't think Viper's going... Okay, that's a little sloppy. The Viper, I'm not really sure why he sent the archers back and the spearmen back over there, but that's how Villager going down already. In Kasva catches up in Villager count, 34 for both players. Good job. Well played. Extra units coming in from Kasva right now. Archers coming in. Uncertainly, I prefer skirmishers, although it was going to be a little bit pricier for him. I was probably going to delay him to the castle age. You know, we are expecting to see cheaper archers for the Viper, so there's that. Anyway, good job so far. From the Viper to defend himself, he ended up losing one villager, probably unnecessarily. But he ends up pushing the scouts away anyway. Seems like we're finally going to be getting close to both players going up to the castle age. Take a look at that, by the way. Kasva's going for the walls on the left-hand side as we suggested, but he's not going for the walls on the right-hand side just yet. He has connected both forward wood lines though, which is pretty good. So yeah, on the right-hand side, I think he should be going for the walls towards the edge of the map. I think it's just too good. He can also secure the wood line over here, plus gold, stone, and the main gold as well. I bought my dad a wheelbarrow for his birthday. Does he walk 15% faster? Isn't it 10% faster though? The older he gets, the slower he walks. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So you need to compensate with wheelbarrow. Good stuff. All right. There we go. Viper's coming in. Kasva. He's got a good amount of archers over here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to defend against the Viper. That was really bad, though. He shouldn't have walls. Pull those villagers. Viper coming back in villager count over here as Kasva's going up to the castle age faster. He's trying to keep these archers alive, which means he won't be able to defend himself over here, because if he's forced into an engagement, Viper's got just much more units. Okay, Viper's going back because of the hill advantage. He's trying to be careful himself as well, as he's already on his way to the castle age too. Now Kasva's having a second stable. That means once we get to the castle age, some knights over here might be enough for Kasva to force an unfavorable engagement against, you know, for the Viper and clean all these units up. Lancers, could be. Yeah, but for the time being, the Viper has got to be really careful over here. Is way far away from home. There we go. Good stuff. There we go. Archer's going down right now, getting completely cleaned up from Kasva. Man, that is so bad. And that is such a great move from the Viper. The moment he realized Kasva got to the castle age, he noticed he needs to get the archers down before these become crossbows, and he managed to get them now. Kasva won't be going for crossbow anymore, of course, but he's got some knights coming out right now. The thing is, he does not have even scale bar than armor, so these are not quite as good. Even against standard archers, these are going to be taking a little bit too much damage, I feel like. Well, it's fine. He should be able to clean up the units, but he's going to have, like, what, half HP left on both these knights? That is not ideal. Meanwhile, the Viper, though, on the other hand, is going to get to the castle age, and he's got a second wave of units moving forward already. With 20 archers about to become crossbows. Pretty sure we're going to see from the Viper, Botkin arrow coming out very soon as well. Crossman upgrade. He's got to go for both. There we go. Botkin arrow. We're going to see Crossman as soon as he can go for it. And that's going to be so much better for him. He's going for the university right away. And he's got quadruple archery ranges. The Viper is really compensating for the missing archery ranges in the previous set. Indeed, guys. That is 4 archery ranges so far in the first... Well, actually, nah. That's probably... Yeah, in the second and third games, right? Damn. The Scorpion's going down, of course, and very good unit control over here from the Viper, by the way. Can take both these Scorpions down. Good job. Meanwhile, we'll see the Knights attacking over here, though, from Kasva. Very good realization from the Viper though to go for the quick walls over here, but he gets pushed away from gold. For the time being, he's going to be out of resources. However, he's pushing forward over here and he's going to push Kasva away from... Yeah, he's pushing Kasva away from wood. He should be able to break through over here, and then that's going to be the counter-strike. Both players on each other's bases, while the other player does not have too many defenses. Now the Viper is starting to get a good amount of crossbows, which is surprising to no one given the amount of archery ranges he's got, right? So he should be able to hold on against the Knights a lot better than Kasva is going to be able to defend against these crossbows. There's nothing over here in terms of defenses. There's only one Mangonel, which if the Viper pays attention to his units, he should be able to clean up right away. Here he comes. He knows about the Mangonel already. Good job. Yeah, and the Knights over here will get cleaned up for sure. There we go. Alright guys, that's gonna be GG. Kasva just called it right here. GG, good luck next. Yeah, there was not a whole lot for him to do anymore. And this was not even going to be the worst, because as soon as the Viper finished researching ballistics, which he was going to go for eventually, then those crosses were going to be a lot deadlier as well. Well played! And there we are. Viper now, up 3. Kasva down, 0. Clean victory over here for the Viper for the series. And now he's going to be moving on to the winners matchup for, for Sunday, I imagine. We're going to go through the achievements real quick because we don't want to miss the interview. It's going to be a 1-to-1 KD ratio. It's going to be a much stronger economy for the Viper. He's got also slower times, but he was able to get there safely, so it did not really matter too much that Kasva was able to go up faster because he couldn't do much with it. Especially the Castle Age being a little bit sooner for Kasva actually worked against him because it prompted the Viper to take the engagement